Another day, walking in circles, haunted by memories. I push on this wheel. I pray to Clam, grant me revenge, and help me to answer the riddle of steel. A shy little boy, I couldn't protect them. Helpless and timid, as weak as a girl. They butchered my people, the dogs ate my father. My mother beheaded, they took my whole world. Clam, where is the wizard who killed my mother? Still, I can recall his terrible gaze. Clam, where are the two snakes facing each other? Clam, if you're my god, then show me the way. I'm on the path, chopping up bodies, hacking and slicing, and look at me now. With loyal friends joining my party, each step I take, I'm fulfilling my vow. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Hear the lamentation of the women. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Hear the lamentation of the women. Come, show me the wizard who killed my mother. True, I've never prayed to you before. Still, what would I give if you could help me see this through? And if you do not listen, then the hell with you. Clam, where are the two snakes facing each other? Clam, if you're my god, then show me the way. I swear this wizard will fall, cause this has begun. They murdered them all. I'm the last one, I issued the call. Revenge for my mom, I pray to you, God. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
Welcome to the Friday Nights. I'm Jason Sandberg. Fellas, I had a fantastic week. The mailman was very good to me. He brought me these two beauties. This is our sometimes co-host new book, Motorizing Burnt Offerings Parts 1 and 2. He took a new approach with this. Instead of doing a square bound like on the first volume, he broke it into two floppies, which I think is a cool idea. It's going to be a good reading experience. obviously we have to have the guy back on the show. His work schedule changed. It's crazy. He will be rejoining us, and the first thing we'll talk about when he gets back are these two issues here. I was digging through the long box, found this little beauty. This was Keith Giffen and Kurt Busiek. We're going to kind of finish the Kirby independent stories and kind of wrap them all up, tie them together in the 90s. This is the first issue of this Victory series. There weren't any additional issues. And so it's tragic, because if you're going to have somebody kind of complete the Captain Victory, Silver Star, all that kind of stuff, what better team? But unfortunately, we only got the one issue. So I'm gonna peruse that and take a look and see if it holds up and dream about what could have been. Latest issue of Redcoat came out. I'm continuing to enjoy this series. The last 3 issues have been solid standalone stories. So if you don't want to get the first 6 issues, you can pick up the last 3. They read just fine on their own. Put your toe in the pool, see if you enjoy it. I'm going to stick with it. So far, I have not been disappointed. It's been a good series. As always, I am hard at work on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is in demand on Fun My Comic and Indiegogo. We crossed the 10K mark earlier this year. Yes. I will be launching issue 2 later in the year. Having a great time inking it. It's going very, very well. Craig, I want to congratulate you and your fellow Canadians in electing a new prime minister.
He wasn't elected; he was installed.
Oh, wait, okay. So, okay. So, I want to congratulate you on finding a member of parliament that you could then elevate to the role of prime minister.
No, he's not a member of parliament. He hasn't lived here for 11 years. I'm not even.
I want to, Craig. I want to congratulate you and your fellow Canadians for finding a citizen of your country who could tell you what to do.
No, he's got a British and an Irish passport.
He's been over here screwing us up before he went back to Canada.
What the hell's going on, Craig? What the hell's going on up there?
Globalist bankers apparently can just.
Thank God for democracy.
There you go.
It's weird. So you mean theoretically, if I grease the right palms, I could be prime minister of Canada?
Yes.
Nice. Fantastic.
Don't fight it, Jason. This is what leads to the Federation in Star Trek.
That's how it goes. All right. Very good. How do you salute? It was by Jared. Jared, that might be true, but is this the dark mirror version, or is this the good one? Like which Federation is this?
Well, I didn't read those backstory novels but apparently there's a lot of turmoil coming up.
You mean like fentanyl zombies and homelessness and people crashing the borders and the currency being debauched?
Yeah. We found 3 super labs here since all this terror stuff started. Magically.
Nice.
Do you think they knew those were there the whole time?
Crazy. Unpredictable. But Craig, how, aside from all that, yes. How was your week?
So first and foremost, I got to go through Microsoft. I don't know, is Microsoft everybody else's favorite company?
No.
Just so I had Office Windows 365 when I first started creating Soltac, and then I let it expire, or my credit card expired. My wife's smart; she's the one with the university degree. She's the one that told me, well, just use it expired. They just can't send you updates, and eventually, so I used Office for free for almost 3 years. Anyways, okay. They shut down my PDFs. They shut down my Office Word. Like they made it so the programs would never function. I could look at the files, but I couldn't do anything with them. And then they greased me into this wheel of trying to offer you a free subscription. You're logged into their Windows, but it doesn't recognize your account. Then for the free one, they want your credit card info, but you have 7 days to expire it. Then you do that. Then they want your phone to have a security app for $55 for extra authentication. And then all of a sudden they recognize my Windows account, and then they asked me to subscribe for a much cheaper rate. Then I had to go back into the account that they made me make for the free one and end the subscription. So I didn't end up paying 2 subscriptions in 30 days. That's Microsoft.
So you're saying it's harder to renew your Microsoft subscription than it is to vote or get across a border?
Well, I haven't had the chance to vote yet. And
okay.
Get across the border, yes. Maine's 20 minutes that way. I could just walk into the woods, and eventually I will stumble out in somewhere in the United States. But at some point, I got to use my debit card, and if I have a cell phone with me, like it's not long to figure out you didn't come through here properly, right?
So Craig, I take it you're not getting the Zune brain implant from Microsoft?
No. Could you imagine?
What if he had gotten Jared? What if he had gotten it in the subscription lap?
Isn't being forced to have a Microsoft ID against my human rights?
Yes. So I took a blast from the past from Jason. I pulled these out on him.
Oh wow!
His first books from the 1991. So a good bit of a time capsule. 91. I was like 15 years old, I think, back then, something like that. But yeah, I read through this Anniversary one. I had fun with this one.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, there you are.
That's great. Blast from the past. This is around 91, and this is great sci-fi story. Oh, I went too far. With oxygen eaters, like, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great stuff.
Little glapes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then over here, the bounty hunter there. They're trying to get their man. So yeah, these are great stories.
It's mischievous and Ganda. Yes.
And then this new part 1 of 3. I have all 3 parts now.
There you go.
The comic market. You could appreciate this one, Jason, because it talks through the comic market exposed for how it all works, and it goes all the way back to like the 1890s, and like how it just lays out the comic book industry up until like Image 2000, I want to say, where it's just like cranked out comics for money with multiple covers. Yeah, it's just a great read. It's very similar to Jupiter. Like between Randy and Jason, they're both educating me on history. With Shadow Kingdom, you're teaching me about the Picts and Scotland and the lost culture when the Romans came. And then Jason's teaching me about I'm gonna script the name. Pelasgus and the first Greek philosopher, first wise man from Greece, and Arcadians. Like I wouldn't know about any of this stuff if I wasn't reading comics.
And Jared's schooling you in IT tech support. You're going to become a well-rounded young man.
There you go.
But first beautiful book I want to hold up there is Russ's work.
Look at that.
His work there, The Shadow Kingdom.
Look at that. Love that book.
Look how thick that is. So good.
Yep.
Tech support, Jason. Come on.
Beautiful arrow product. a couple interior pages from The Shadow Kingdom. By the way, Shadow Kingdom's available. Is it still available on this campaign as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can get on the links right at the top for Atlantean 2. You can pick up Shadow Kingdom. Oh, that's past. That's the rewritten work. Sorry.
It's not this exact edition. It's a beautiful hardcover book that we're offering with the main story and the prose story inside of it.
Yeah, I love this read. The introduction. Is it Brule or Brule? How am I pronouncing? Brule. Yeah, Brule and Cull, and their introduction to each other and why they get together as Cull makes a journey to become king. That's the Shadow Kingdom. And then obviously I read the Atlantean, the first one. I got like 2 copies of this. Thank goodness I did because this got bumped. But but yeah, and now you change to black and white interiors, which totally makes sense because both it cuts the cost in half, but it also cuts the production time.
Yeah, so it means we can make it more regular. Yeah,
get these out faster. And beautiful work, Russ. I mean, I absolutely like everything is like perfect line art. There's like. It's beautiful,
and I can tell you, you're going to see a big step up in the art in number 2 from number 1.
I'll show you some latest art today when we're ready. So.
And this is my last bit of Hagen. This is my last bit of Hagen. The show for the evening. We've got 44 joining us this evening. Thank you so much. So here's a Soltac. I got a Soltac update for everyone.
There you are.
Look at that.
So that's the original character designs there on the left for Dexter when he got his Soltac police officer's sort of uniform. But then he encountered the AI horde on Mars, the Hades Vex, and they just tortured the hell out of him. Like if you think of like Afghanistan and taking PWs away and making them talk, so they expose where the other bad guys are one way or the other. Basically, that's what they do to Dexter.
Getting married in your early 20s.
Yes. So they sort of turn him into a brainless husk. He's been mentally broken, physically broken. But they
like getting married in your early 20s.
Yeah, and then they prop him up like a puppet king for their own amusement, right? Like you're in charge, but there's still like the gladiator ring.
Like
so they
getting married in your early 20s.
Yeah, you're the greatest gladiator, and then they then he has to fight for his life constantly. So that's
he has lovely hair.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
So that's his new design, and what's coming up for issue 5. I'm sure you'll appreciate this, Randy. This is the new reprint for issue 1. I think
Cool.
I'm going to do 200 of each of these. So I corrected the logo. It's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, it's a new cover. What do you think of that cover, Jason? I don't know if you've
Very
seen that.
cool. Very cool.
Like
I would pick that up even if I didn't know the name Soltac. I would pick that up off the shelf. The one thing I had, and these haven't gone to print yet, right?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. My recommendation is make the logo bigger, but otherwise, yeah, beautiful book.
Soltac? Yeah.
Yeah, I would make the Soltac bigger, but
at least 30-40% larger.
I'd have that equally spaced between the edge of the book and Arrow Comics. Yeah.
That too. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, you got.
Yeah, it looks great.
You're cooking. Yep.
Very dynamic.
Great cover. Yeah.
I'll tell Gonzalo that right before we go to print. So when I give him a nice big fat paycheck, it's gonna be like, hey, I need you to go back and we gotta review all these covers. Okay.
And I do need to draw a line in the sand here. Craig did tell people to go take a look at the Fund My Comic campaign. So we're starting with a baseline of 87 backers. 87 backers. We will be looking at the campaign in depth, but just in case anybody went over there and backed before we got there, baseline, that's our baseline.
Yeah.
I'm screwing up my computer.
Somebody did.
I'm one of those boom moments. Hold on.
So, Craig, you lost me at university degrees make you smarter.
Yeah. There's no evidence of that.
All right. So here's the campaign, and I specifically, this is in US dollars. One of the reasons why I love it, because you can set those things up. Can't do that.
Well, hey, since we're doing stuff out of order, do you want to play the trailer, and then we'll go through the rest of the round robin, and then we'll look at the chat because it's off the rails, dude. It's the show is, like if anybody who's not even elected can be your prime minister, we can make the show go however we want. There's no rules, anarchy.
See, I'm such a structured person. The show is the only thing I have in my life that's structured, Jason.
All
right. Yeah, for 47 watching, here it is. I'm sure we're going to play it again, but here it is. Yeah. Here's the trailer for the Atlantean 2.
In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull and his right hand rule the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures and sign up now for news with the email list at russoots.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
Nice.
Right.
So, like you said, 87 backers, and we're at 2,919. Maybe we can get this over 3,000 tonight. That would be amazing. If we could get 90 backers and $3,000, I think that would
be lovely.
Yes, let's make that our goal. Okay, so Jason, I was still on my comic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the new issue 1 cover that's going to release on my new campaign. I'm aiming for October, but I can't skip that sign up. Everyone told me don't skip the sign up list. I don't know, Russ and Randy, did you guys use a mailing list?
We have a mailing list. Yeah.
Everyone's saying stop skipping that. You're hurting yourself. You need a whole bunch of people to sign up.
Everybody has 1,000 things going on, So I, as a backer of past books, I always appreciate getting pinged, just so I can get ready.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do it right this time. I got to do it right this time. Okay, so that's the which issue 2, 3, and 4 will look like with the new logo. So they're the same books. I've just changed. And like you said, that's going to be a little bit of work for me and Gonzalo, but we'll get that done. So there's the Mishatsu. That's the old design. So Gonzalo was the big one that picked this up. He said, you need a bit of AAT in your comics, right? Which is true.
What does that stand for?
The female form.
Okay. Can't go wrong.
Right. So in this, like she had this chest plate armor that you can't see any under boob, right? And then like armor plates in the front and the back, and just made things really difficult for him to draw as an artist.
Have you considered a chainmail bikini?
Right. Well, so this is Gonzalo because he's the one who draws it, right? And Russ can appreciate this too. He's the one who draws. So it's just, hey, what would you feel like drawing, like just to loosen your pencil style so you're not in there having to constantly draw against, you know, a natural motion with your hand on paper. So this is his design for Mishatsu. That's what she looks like now. And then
that's nice.
That's the cover for issue 5. So that
works. Yeah.
That's what I'm working on right now. This is the new book. And yeah, that was my update for Soul Tax.
It's a great cover because the character's intriguing, but then your eyes go down, you see the blood, and you're like, yes. I need to know what's going on there. So good work there.
Thank you. So I've hogged how much of the show already? 20 minutes in.
Well, dude, it's your channel. Come on, it's all good. Really. Plus, you're the guy who got a new leader installed. I mean, you do whatever you need to do tonight, buddy. We'll get you through this.
Randy, Russ, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Randy, do you have anything you wish to share from how was your week?
Oh, you know, crazy as usual, cutting a lot of vinyl and doing a little commercial work and trying to get the script for Atlantean 3 into the computer.
Oh,
nice.
And get that over to Russ. He's going to run out of stuff to do here pretty quick.
Can't have that.
Got to keep him busy.
So you're already jumping into 3.
Oh, I've got 3 plotted, pretty much 100% at this point. And I know what's happening in 4, and I have a great hook and opening scene for 5.
I mean,
so lots going on.
And Russ's artwork's incredibly detailed. And I mean, he uses the entire space. Like, how long does it take you to do a page, Russ?
It's about a page and a half a day. So if I was to do if it was a full page, pencils, inks, and planning, I could do 1 page in a day.
Oh, that's crazy.
So at the moment, I'm inking around 7 pages a week.
Nice.
Wow, that's incredible.
Do you want to see today's page?
Yeah.
Before we start, there you go. I'll show today's page. Where are we? Talking of the female form. Our big bad has turned up. There you go.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
So,
I am going to be backing tonight, and
thank you.
And one of the reasons in the fact that I love the 70s Savage sort of Conan, and I love the vibe you've got that just it's on that same frequency. That's not the only reason, but I love what you're doing here. You're making black and white come alive more than most artists can do with full color.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying myself, to be honest. It's and like we say, there's a lot of love going into the books. It's the stuff that we loved, you know, in the 70s, 80s, and we just want to bring some of that out. So there you go.
I'm in a lot of chats, and everyone says the same thing, that it's a tragedy that these books are not in the store shelves, because they would you would not be able to keep these on the shelf. They would fly off the shelves. Ching, 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 ching.
They're available.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Russ.
Sorry. Exactly as Randy was saying, they're available online. You can get them on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I'd love them to be in comic book shops, but it's an absolute nightmare getting that to happen. So
the world is healing slowly, and I predict these will be in local comic book shops.
What I do see being the way of the future is those QR codes. I've been avoiding it because I'm a boomer, but I'm watching now. Like when I pull out my stupid debit card and I tap, nobody does that anymore. They all use their phones for everything. They go up to posters and they snap a QR with it. They flip it over and they pay with their cell phones. It's bizarre. It's crazy.
So can you get like a QR code so they can just order it on Amazon?
Yeah, someone could just
take you to that page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
I think the future's 8-track cassette. Personally,
Pixel Trader. If you talk to Pixel Trader with AR13L, he did a lot of stuff with QR codes and stuff.
Okay,
for
all right.
promotional posters and stuff.
Okay,
But yeah, that's going to be the way of the
interesting.
future. Yeah.
And 8-track.
And Russ, are you when you've got time? Is there anything you're currently reading, you're digging or excited about?
I actually just got. Where are we? Oh, I actually just got the first 3 of these.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Flicking through that. I sort of wanted to get trade paperbacks and what have you, but Robert Latour's artwork is gorgeous. He's obviously channeling Buscema.
Yep.
And it's just there's some really nice colors in here. If we were to do a color book, this would be the way I'd want it colored.
Yep.
So they're lovely.
My only complaint with the Zub, Titan, Conan is the decompressed storytelling where they're doing like 4-issue arcs. If they would just do 2-issue arcs, keep the level of craftsmanship, keep the stories, get them down to 2-issue arcs, tighten it up. It would be unbeatable. But otherwise, I'm continuing to follow those myself.
Yeah, but that's what we're doing with ours. Is there is an arc to the adventure, but each adventure can be read on its own. It's a story. Yeah. It's got start, middle, and end. You can just pick up a book and go, "Oh, that was satisfying," and that's what's most important.
Look at that.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice big book. Yeah. It just goes, I love it when the cover art and the interior art and everything, it's just beautiful. It's a masterpiece.
We wanted to have different artists on the front cover, like the old Savage Sword of Conan, and have them painted. So I do a pencil for the painting, and this time we got ink spots to do it.
Nice.
And then I do an ink of it, and that's on the inside front cover, and we have that available as a signed black and white print as well. But from this issue onwards, including this issue, we also provide the front cover in color as a print as well, and that's for everybody. Everybody gets that.
Oh wow!
So it's to differentiate. Also, there's a slight difference in the printing of the book as well. So it's to differentiate between those people that are early adopters and who back us on crowdfunding. They get something that doesn't go to retail. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the benefit of going to retail is obviously if you're an Amazon Prime member and you pick it up on Amazon Prime, then you won't pay the postage. That's that's the kind of thing that you get away with when you do those kind of retail things. But you've got to give everybody their unique selling point. You've got to give everybody their special thing. And the backers, that's what they get. They get the print, and they also get a unique version of the book, which is never again to be reprinted.
Very cool. Very cool. Jared, how was your week? What have you been up to?
I've been dealing with an audit.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Dude, ouch! Let me guess. You're a relative sold an asset and didn't. Okay, no.
No, it's not a tax audit.
Okay.
It's tech nerd stuff.
Oh, okay.
If I could do it, sleep. It's just with a skeleton crew. It's a bit challenging, so I had to do all the work. And just I'm back up north, as you can see. Nice. Ready to do it. I brought 4 windows. I might install one before I go back on Sunday.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's finally warm enough to do that. So good deal.
Yeah.
All right. So Craig, who's in the chat tonight? We got 83 people watching live. If you're watching, pop into the chat, say hi. But Craig, who we got?
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us this evening, everyone. First off, we got Vulcan Live. Says happy Friday, guys. Happy to use Vulcan. Thank you so much for coming back. I was genuinely worried. I was like, we cannot lose Vulcan. He's been here since day one. Let's see. Chris Faction joined us. Says, yo, we're at, I think this is 85, episode 85. So 15 more. Is that, if my math is correct, is episode 100. Philbo as well joining us. Philbo says happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday to you as well. SFG Gaming again. I talk with SFG Gaming all the time. He's a big backer. Says happy hail Arrow Comics. Hail to you as well. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Here's Pixel. Speaking of Pixel and the QR codes, Pixel's in the chat. Says, yeah, he's complimenting your drawing, Russ.
Thank you. And yes, she is.
Yes. Yeah, Arrow in the house. Yeah, for real. A lot of great things happening. My goal with Soltac is to get the 9 issues and put all 9 issues together, and then just try to find a publishing agent or someone. Like Canada, because of our socialist ways, and you see the weirdness that happens up here, there are certain ways that you can sort of get into those crevices with the right, right push. But we'll see. That's why so many actors are Canadian. It's not because they're super talented. It's because we've got some clause where like 20% of the actors must be Canadian. So then they get into the acting business through our socialist network, and then they move to California, right? It's all a scam. Anyway. And then
sounds
it's just
so familiar. Maybe it's something to do with the Empire. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that?
So Russ, you got to look out. We've got an Atlantis expert in the chat with Chris.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
We should have a debate. We can turn this into a video.
So everybody has their own Atlantis. It's all good.
Yeah. It's like Santa.
Yeah.
So would you like to jump into our topics?
Yeah. We got 86 people watching live. What's topic number 1?
So if everyone's wondering what the hell is going on with the show, so basically we structured it like a late night TV show. So every Friday we come to you at 10 p.m. Eastern, 90 minutes, 3 topics with 1 guest creator. And this is sort of like a bit of an icebreaker. We just talk about whatever craziness also happened in the week. So you can be current on your news, as well as introduced to a really cool creator and a cool project you can support. So the first topic for this evening comes from New York Post. Florida woman was arrested for allegedly victimizing a man's face with a Pringles can. So
she's 28.
She's 28 in Florida trailer years.
So they were in line at a 7-Eleven. I don't know the full detail, but this isn't fact, but they may have been shoplifting. She may have been there with someone else. The guy at the counter was talking to the clerks about the customer, and then she basically called him a bitch and then smashed him in the face.
I don't know where that word would have come from.
So Randy, did she get any credit for the self-restraint of stopping with just one?
Oh.
You can't stop with just one. This is a Pringles. This is a Pringles can, actually used as a lethal weapon.
Craig, did she take
that's a hell of a swing, by the way.
Craig, did she take the plastic thing off to get like the metal rim and use that to slice? Or like how?
I would probably say yes.
What magic was this?
She was probably. So did you know there was a lawsuit with somebody because they couldn't get their hand in the can far enough?
They were too fat.
So
is it because the salt and the Pringles made their hands swell?
That might have been her.
It's like a Chinese puzzle.
So
she must be some kind of secret agent. She could kill you with a spoon. But she's chosen a Pringles can.
Shanika Bourne.
Her name's Joanna Thick instead of John Wick.
So that's her name is Shanika.
Shanika.
It is
Shanika.
Yes.
That's not Shaniqua. So
I bet her hips don't lie.
Yeah. She's not going to be in 7-Eleven for the next few months.
So she was arrested and slapped. Oh, sorry, with an aggressive battery charge. So
yes.
I thought it was just they caught her and slapped her.
I read it that way too when I first read it.
Apparently, in other news, rainbow-colored hair is out of fashion.
Well, I heard RFK is going to ban it because everybody that gets that starts acting all neurotic.
You start making rules like that, it'll be harder to identify the crazies.
I think there's something in the dye.
There is a reason why
there'll always be the pronouns in the bio.
There's a reason why in nature all the poisonous animals have fluorescent colors on them. It's a warning to stay away from them. You want them to do that.
So Jared, if you're in line at the 7-Eleven and this happens, do you instinctively grab another can of Pringles, maybe like onion chive, and try to intervene? Like what's your move?
Well, I mean the salt is gonna sting, but if you go with a hot variety? Do they have like a flaming hot version?
You could just cauterize the wound.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, imagine like apparently it was a horrible gash, and then you have all that salt on it. It must have been excruciating.
Yeah.
Now he's going to sue 7-Eleven for the trauma and PTSD. Probably inflicted.
Wonder you ought to sue Pringles for making such a lethal can.
That's right.
The sad thing is, in 2025, none of those things you've just said are going to be a surprise.
So Randy, if she's this deadly with a can of Pringles, what could she? What's the most diabolical prison shank she can come up with?
Probably the improper use of those 5-hour boosters next to the counter. 5-hour action, little gulps.
There's got to be a way.
Who knows how that
a drug?
Yeah. Who knows how that could be levied out, shoved up somebody's ear or something. Up their nostril.
Chinese growing star Funyuns. There you go.
Brilliant.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Crazy.
All right.
I do like myself a Pringles now and then. Because it dissolves as soon as it gets it just dissolves, right? I mean, nobody eats a Pringles, they absorb Pringles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or do Pringles absorb you?
I have to. I had a can recently. I just had to do it, and like once every 10 years.
And once you stopped, well, once you popped, sorry, you couldn't stop.
It doesn't last 10 minutes. It's gone. I can go right through one of those. Oh yeah. No time at all.
She popped.
I grab a stack like that at a time. I figure and just shove them all in. It doesn't take long at all.
They're good on a burger, actually. Like the weird ones.
Never tried it.
So have we killed this topic? You ready to see what's?
I think this one's just crumbs now.
Without attacking the way she looks, I'd say yes. We're
gonna get personal soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, right. She's pretty.
So topic number 2 also comes.
Russ is really tired with the Greenwich Mean Time thing right now.
Thank you so much for being here and joining us. 91 watching our crazy antics. It's morning there, I guess. Woman with rare phobia of popular condiment suffers panic attacks on its site. It's like being held at gunpoint. So this phobia, man, I tried to memorize it. I'm not even going to try to say that. I don't. Do you want to try to say that, Jason? That word.
I spent a little while trying to pronounce it.
Yeah.
What word? Oh, moo.
Yeah.
Mortusequus phobia.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll take that.
I don't know. Something like that. Sounds like bullshit to me.
Yeah, right. So what do we think? Just another sign of the times? I mean, I had peanut butter in school growing up, so
So
you were deathly afraid of peanut butter growing up?
No, I just say like it's banned now. Like you can't expose people to it.
Yeah. Can't expose people to peanut butter?
Yes. Yeah. It's a thing. Yeah.
Oh, because they're peanut allergies, you mean? Okay, yes. Yeah, got it. I'm gonna be like this girl. She's always gonna be behind. She's always you know why? Because she'll never catch up.
Randy, you're shrewd. Nothing gets past you. If you were the reporter interviewing this lady, and she's like, I can't handle ketchup. It's like being held up at gunpoint. Would you say you've been held at gunpoint? What's that like?
Yeah,
probably.
Compare the two.
Are they burying the lead here? This lady's been held at gunpoint. Tell us what, where, why, who, how.
No, the real point of this entire article is to raise the fearmonger in everybody to be deathly afraid of condiments.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Condiment.
And always be suspicious. Yeah.
Condiment fear porn.
Yeah. Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah. Gen X is telling you to grow a pair of balls.
And here we found somebody that freezes in the grocery aisle every time she sees the ketchup.
Well, she may have been traumatized by a Pringles wielder. I mean, maybe there's more to the story.
Tomato ketchup flavored Pringles. Could you imagine? That would just freak her out completely.
Maybe the color of the ketchup mixing with the Pringles.
Oh,
Like
what
those
if
old
somebody bleeds?
Reese's
Is it the
commercials.
same thing
Yeah.
with blood? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Craig, go ahead.
Is it is it associating it with blood? I didn't look into the phobia.
What is she eating?
Like a French fry without anything on it. So
that's illegal, isn't it?
It's a mighty large French fry.
Yeah.
Or
good use of the tongue, though.
She looks like she's teasing that French fry, if you ask me.
Also, 15 minutes of fame, right?
If you threw that at AI and asked, to see if it was a porn picture uploaded to your site, it would say,
the IT would come talk to you if this is on your work computer.
Yeah.
That's true.
Craig, have you ever gone to the border and taken a bottle of ketchup from Canada and a bottle of ketchup from America and like compared the ingredients?
No, but there are YouTubers that do things like that. But yeah, I'm not going to drive all the way to Bangor, Maine to compare ketchups.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, this story, we felt this story warranted a deep dive investigative report. So our crack team of researchers and journalists got to the bottom of this. We want to share this with you, share this with our audience, because that's why you come here the Friday nights, is to get these impactful deep dive investigative reports. So we're going to take a deeper look into this ketchup phobia thing here.
And you're going to love this one, Jason. I still got to load it.
Okay, no problem.
I have it on my desktop.
No problem. You Canadians had a rough week, man. I'm impressed you're holding it together. I'm just
insulted. And it's funny, all the people are trying to justify this and say like there's no justifying this. This guy wasn't elected. So it's even worse than that. So they had 5 of them running for the leadership race, and then all these conservatives in Canada signed up to be liberals just so that they could pick the worst of the 5 candidates and make a farce of it, right? So we knew they only had 150,000 people deciding the fate of Canada, and they got flooded with another 250,000 people. So they first bragged about how their party had swollen to 400,000, which we all knew that it wasn't all liberals. So anyway, anytime that they did like a pre-polling canvass of who's your preferred candidate, people always pick the worst ones. So they would kick them out of the race, disqualify them for whatever reason they could. So the 2 that they disqualified happened to be other races. Surprising, they weren't white. You got to instill the rich white billionaire from Britain, right? Or anyways, so they did that, and then 8 hours before the voting started, they disqualified 250,000 registered members. They kicked them out and brought it back down to 150,000, and then boop, Buddy won. So I don't know what you call that, but that's not a leader.
Our kind of democracy. That's what I call it. Our kind of democracy.
It's pretty close.
Get on with it.
Do it in the 4 last, yeah.
Mark Carney is a scumbag. Okay,
Yes.
Get that, Google. Did you hear that? He's a scumbag.
You can say that on this channel too, because I concur. I agree.
Yeah. In the spirit of Jacksonian democracy in America, we do believe that anyone can be president, but apparently up in Canada, anybody can be the prime minister. So it's just
it's insane. It's for sale. It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been selling out to China for years, so
Yeah.
Right.
You still got that weirdness that happened in the Winnipeg lab with the 2 scientists that went bye-bye, and then they were allowed to leave and quietly go back to China before they got charged. Yeah. How's it going, Sim? I'm sure echoes a lot of this.
Yep.
I got a fellow Canadian in there.
And Crenshaw's here. He's going to be our guest next week. Okay, so let's look at this investigative report. We've got 97 people watching live. This might tip us over 100 as word gets out that we're finally cracking the lid on this.
Great.
All right. So again, unfortunately, my nervous system doesn't know the difference between being held at gunpoint and seeing a bottle of ketchup. Jared, do you think you would know the difference?
The difference between what?
Being held at gunpoint and seeing a bottle of ketchup.
I actually have been held at gunpoint. I saw it off.
Okay.
So
all right.
I think.
Right. Do you want to tell us? I may have missed this story. Is it a long one or? What?
Well, I was about 12 years old, and my dad was kind of a loser, and he stole. I think he failed to make a return on some things he did for the Hells Angels, and they showed up at our house, and the guy had a sawed-off shotgun looking for my dad.
Wow.
I was
Imagine
like, I didn't even really react to it.
a Hell's Angel turning up with a big ketchup bottle.
They're the real.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That would
Yeah. I could be terrified depending on what he wants to do with it. I mean, it all depends. But I mean, you can stick that in your pocket and sort of pretend it's a pistol. Maybe you might be able to get away with it that way.
So Randy, do you think it's only weak women that would suffer from ketchup phobia?
I think it's
Ketchup phobia.
it's an international disease, depending upon how you take to the color red.
All right, let's look at the next slide and find out if it's just chicks that suffer from this. Oh, I goofed up the slides. So it turns out, she's also afraid of math. Now, if she's afraid of math, does that weaken her argument, Randy? Does it weaken her case that she's also afraid of math?
I don't think it's her case that's weakened. I think it's her prescription.
Yeah, but it weakens the odds.
It does. Who knows what else she could be deathly afraid of?
Didn't they say math is racist now, Jason? Isn't math racist?
Yeah, math is. Well,
all depends on who you
I've been told that math is racist. I don't believe it's racist. Yes. Jared, looking at her, is there anything else you think she's afraid of? Besides commitment.
Commitment, yeah. I think she's afraid of thinking generally. I don't know. I mean, how do you end up? I mean, is this the New York Post? Like, how do they find this person?
She's an influencer.
Oh, okay.
She's afraid of work then.
Yeah.
Afraid of work, afraid of kids.
Someone rang a bell on that one. That was pretty good. All right. So Russ, do you think this ketchup phobia is only confined to frail women?
Frail women. I suppose she does look like frail. She hasn't got any trousers on.
Or a can of Pringles.
Yeah, or a can of Pringles. Yeah. I don't know that the woman in our previous story would have been afraid of ketchup.
No, I think I wish she was. It would probably be better for her health if she was afraid of ketchup. Great. Let's look at the next slide here.
In Canada, they have ketchup Pringles, right? So
we've got 95 people watching live, and it is true that even strong, burly men like famous hockey players are also afraid of ketchup. Is this out of control? Is this influence of social media? What's going on? What do you think, Randy?
Time for that GoFundMe campaign. Catch up with ketchup paranoia.
Jared, do you think this has something to do with blood on the ice?
What's that?
Do you think this has something to do with blood on the ice? Is this what this guy's deal is?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's from watching really bad movies where the competition for the amount of fake blood. That kind of happened through the 90s, and maybe it's overexposure to that. Because I mean, I can't like Evil Dead which is the movie that comes to mind for like the fakiest blood, but enjoyable. Like
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. Or maybe Bad Taste.
Which and by the way, Evil Dead 2, one of the best twist endings in all movie history. Does anybody disagree?
No.
It's a great movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I'm going to see it soon.
I did not see that ending coming, and every time I watch it, I'm surprised by that ending. All right, Craig, next slide.
Well, I was going to add to this. If I was rich and I owned a hockey team, I would absolutely, when I knew this guy was going to be on the ice, have my whole team dress up as ketchup bottles, and come out,
ketchup packets,
just to see him freak out and laugh.
So my suspicions were correct. This topic is bringing in the eyeballs. We're at 97 viewers watching live. Randy, ketchup phobia, any way associated with Coke bottle phobia?
I'm not sure.
I think
the studies would be out. The studies would be out on that. I can't see people being more scared of the ketchup bottle than the Coke bottle. Coke's got better curves and would slide easier.
Jared, what do you think? What's on your mind, Jared?
like if you do with the Coke bottle what she's doing with that fry, it could be frightening, I suppose. Try to do like a 70s porn type of trick with it. I don't know.
His trousers are very tight.
When it's kind of pointed in right.
Yeah.
Is that a ketchup bottle in your pocket? Or are you happy to see me? Yeah.
I just wonder, with original Coca-Cola, how much do you think you have to drink to get high? Like,
there was a
Not a
little
lot.
bit of there was a little bit of cocaine in there.
Yeah.
A couple of bottles of that and you'd be too much sugar, I think.
Well, you just start with one and
and-
see how far you go.
One and diabetic instantly.
Oh yeah.
We're kind of back to those days with the THC soft drinks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty normal. I mean, you can get them at gas stations now
Mm.
in Minnesota, anyway.
Yeah. I think the THC in the casual junk food, I think it's a great equalizer, because I always felt, as I managed people, as I led people, as I had to hire and fire people, it always perplexed me that you couldn't come to work drunk, but you could come to work stupid. And I'm like, this isn't fair.
Can't take a pill. Well, I guess you can take a pill to be stupid. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
a lot of that
We-
stupid is just natural. Man.
At this place of employment, we will only pay wages to people who are non-medically stupid. If you medicate to be stupid, you have to go home. But if you come in natural born stupid, you're here.
Oh, come on. The leadership in all of the companies, big or medium or small, they're on benzos and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of adjustments being made to people's heads in the workplace.
Because I learned it from you.
We crossed 101.
That's serious. I mean, it's like, oh, you got to do the beta blocker, and they're just hooked on the stuff.
Randy. What's French? Yeah.
Cocaine Coke was way
RF
healthier than they made it a lot better back then.
RFK is
it
going
was
to make
to-
you put real cocaine.
I'm gonna give you real cocaine.
I think whenever like you hurt yourself bad and you get opioids,
Yeah.
when I take those, like I know people just get into them, and I'm just like, I'm so stupid right now. I can't. I'd like
Yeah.
it simulate. I'd like it. I can't function. So it helps you to imagine what it's like to be other
Yeah.
people.
When,
Yeah.
when I broke
It's
my
like
jaw, when I broke my jaw in 3 places, I woke up in the hospital and they gave me a shot of morphine, and it was the greatest thing ever. And then the next time I was conscious and she asked me how I was doing, I said, I could use another shot of morphine. She would not give it to me.
Yeah. No way, son. Nope, that's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Morphine might be different, but like oxygen just makes you dumb. Percocets, dumb.
Greg, you have addicts written all over your face.
I had morphine when I had my appendectomy. It was an ugly one. So I got it for a few days. I had actually weaned myself off of it, even though I was 16. I'm like, again, it was my first encounter with like, I can't access my thoughts. I'm like losing myself here.
So Jared, if the handicapper general is ever put in place, Harrison Burgeon style, you're saying that to equalize things, they'd have to give you that.
Yeah, they could be really scientific about that, couldn't they? Like just get everybody at like a 80 IQ.
Randy, do you think that's the end result of egalitarianism, is to give everybody an IQ test and then dumb down the medically dumb down the smart people?
That's not happening now.
All right, Craig,
Makes you think that's not happening now? Where's all of these autism cases and ADHD? That's all your geniuses. They're all being dumbed down.
So Craig, I mean, Canada, I'm sure statistically probably has a very high IQ on average.
It's just because it's metric. It's the metric because it seems
Oh,
bigger.
it's
Metric.
we were also a great nation, in the 90s, and up until about 2015ish. Like, we weren't even great then. It was already in decline. We were already in a state of decline, but then after that it just fell off the rails. We are not.
You used to have like the world's 4th largest navy, right?
Yes.
Like that.
We used to have some of the most advanced technology.
Pulled the plug.
Yeah, when it came to like digital technology and like long range viewing stuff and night vision and all that stuff, we revolutionized a lot of that technology. Even like the Hubble telescope, we had a lot to do with at one point. The same with what jet? What's the name? Avro Arrow. The Avro Arrow. Speaking of Arrow Comics, that was a phenomenal jet, and then it just disappeared, and all those people went to work for NASA. So.
I remember when Canada had maple syrup. Now they've got breakfast topping.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. I'm a big fan of Ronald Reagan. As everybody knows, there was a huge controversy when he was governor of California, where the nanny state said you've got to have so many vegetables at lunch, and he said, "Well, I've got to work with my constituents, so I'm going to say ketchup is a vegetable." He knew it wasn't a vegetable, but he knew the kids would eat it. Randy, was he a great misunderstood genius?
In his own way, yeah.
All right. Russ, did you hear about this across the pond?
No, I didn't know. That's a joke over here. It's only a $5 a day. So that's got to include tomato sauce, is it? Ketchup. Oh my god. Yeah. It's a fruit anyway. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. But isn't it better than giving kids something that they're just going to throw in the garbage?
Well, yeah, no. It's full of sugar, isn't it? Sugar's the problem. The problem we've got over the last 50 years is that all this, it must be less fat. But you take the fat out, that's not particularly good for you because you need fat.
What's modified starch?
It's just all that sugar and stuff they put in. That's no good for you. Don't do that. Just don't do that.
But when you combine two starches, don't you get a protein? Or am I off base?
I think you're going drifting off into chemistry now, and my IQ is not that high. Okay. especially after a couple of glasses of brandy.
No problem.
You get 2 starches, you're gonna have to blame your dry cleaner.
Lack of vitamins and lack of protein. That's the problem with a lot of this fast food. It doesn't have either.
Yeah.
I with the RFK Jr. thing, I think you can testify that Jason, I've been like nutty about ingredients and good food for like ever, and it's mainstream now.
Yep.
But yeah, what surprises me is who's opposed to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just tribal, isn't it? It's just tribal. Oh, that person said something. It doesn't matter how good that is. I'm gonna be against it. It's like
I know somebody who like their whole backyard is just this awesome organic garden. All these like the lasagna method of composting, just super into it. Creates
lasagna
harvest, and she hates RFK Jr. What?
Yeah, I'm a big RFK fan, but Jared, that's a true statement. However, I also remember there was a time in the mid 90s where you came to my apartment and you brought a frozen burrito and you put it in a skillet on the stovetop as a solid brick, frozen brick, and you were like shaking it with the skillet.
Oh, yeah.
And you were looking at me like, "Hey, I'm cooking over here," and you were like shaking the skillet, and the burrito was sliding back and forth in the skillet.
Oh, I can make a bad burrito taste good. That's I made no money.
I know.
I put myself through college, and I found a tax receipt recently. It was $12,000 is what I had in income from.
Oh, and that's a rounding error now. Yeah. Wow. All right, Jared, we both knew each other when we were broke kids, and that's why we trust each other, because we were friends then. And so as rich men and getting an advanced age, we still trust each other. That's the truth. All right, Craig, next slide. Now, No, I think the topic of fear and phobias means it's time to bring back the show Fear Factor. Randy, did you watch Fear Factor?
No.
Russ, did it make it across the pond? Fear Factor?
I think it did, but I tend to stay away from television.
Yeah,
because it rots your brain.
Smartly so.
We do have something called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which my wife watches every year. And they have things like bugs. They put their heads in boxes and have bugs crawl all over them and shit like that. And sometimes they put them in a box and there's like ketchup bottles there and they just scream.
Have they had a cage that goes on like a muzzle with rats in it?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
1984. 1984.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're all just lapping it up. Oh, this is great.
Good thing that's not happening over there.
Craig, yeah.
That you know of.
We're close to eating everybody's cats over here. So
Russ, I am looking forward to the day where the clouds part and rays of sunshine fall upon the British Isles, and a 1,000-foot tall ghost of John Stuart Mill comes down with a flaming sword and fixes your country.
Oh, please.
Pulls the sword out of a stone. You got to keep
please.
Yes. Craig, did you ever watch Fear Factor?
Yes, I did. Of course. Yeah,
what was the craziest thing you ever saw in Fear Factor?
So I don't remember.
Was it
I have a lot of the bugs in the boxes, but the most part I remember most is the Chappelle show when he had Joe Rogan on and he was mocking him with the crackhead guy. And I don't know if you know what I know. I'm not going to say the rest of that line, but yeah.
All right. Next slide, we're going to look at the craziest thing that ever happened on Fear Factor.
Yeah. Sorry, you caught me back in. Wait, here we go.
This was the craziest thing that happened on Fear Factor. We're not going to talk about it because I don't want Craig's channel to get struck down. So I think that this whole catch-up thing is a class issue. I think it has to do with sophistication, economic brackets, and culture. And here's why. We never had this problem with mustard. Next slide.
And by the way, Jason, we're one away from a hat trick, just so you know.
I thought you were going to say the craziest thing to happen in Fear Factor was Joe Rogan had hair.
there was that too. So, guys, am I right or am I wrong that when it comes to mustard, men of culture, men of the world of sophistication, they have no problem sharing mustard, enjoying mustard? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, you're
nice
right.
Bit of Dijon, bit of English. Very nice.
The poupon, yeah.
There's actually a video out there of Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney using this commercial, and
man,
they shared
nothing sacred.
AI enhanced. Yeah, if I'd known, I would have clipped that for sure.
Could have been maple syrup.
Breakfast topping, yeah. All right, let's go to the last topic, which I hope it kind of looks like, which I hope will be too much of a downer. The direct market. Created in the mid-90s when Marvel bought Heroes World, tried to be vertically integrated. It was a complete catastrophe. In the rush to safety.
The direct market was raging long before Marvel bought Heroes World. It was doing really good. Yeah,
I misspoke. The Diamond's monopoly started when Marvel bought Heroes World. There was a rush to safety. All the other companies went to Diamond. Heroes World had a meltdown because it was poorly run, and then even Marvel went to Diamond. So we had a 25-year, almost a 30-year period where Diamond was effectively the monopoly.
Yep.
So they are obviously, and again, okay. So Craig, give us the rundown. What's going on here?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Jason Unhinged Entertainment's joining us. I think he's got Frog G2 out. Again, Jason, if you're there, hit me up.
Yep.
We got to have you back on.
Yeah, come back on, Jason.
So sorry, can you say the question again?
So Craig, give me the rundown. What's going on here?
With the bankruptcy deal? Okay, so yeah, Diamond obviously they declared bankruptcy. However, they were saying, "Don't worry, guys, don't worry. We're shopping for a new buyer." And then there were a couple people nibbling, but looks like nobody wants to buy. They've now lost all the titles. DC's gone, Marvel's gone, Image is gone, Dark Horse is gone. I don't know. Do they have any big names left that you're aware of, Randy? At all?
Not really big names, but no, none of these companies are really big names anymore anyway.
They haven't
Even the ones
attempted
owned by corporate. Yeah,
they haven't
corporate.
attempted to reach out to indie comics or restructure or like nothing. And yeah, this is insanity. So now they're going to have an auction. So we're 2 weeks away from the Diamond Comics distribution auction, and essentially nobody knows what's in their warehouses. All they can say is they go back to 1982. And there could be all kinds of like issue ones, variant covers, the limited, they only have a run of 7,000 for the stores. So what
if there's a whole case of Wildcats 1?
Right.
Like a whole case.
You're not going to raise that comic from $2 to $4.
What about a case of Brigade 1?
Right.
Oh,
I've got a case of Brigade 1 here in my office. But
they call those fire starters.
but with this
X-Men 1.
Right.
The 90s X-Men 1.
That's this thing, right? So if you go to eBay and all the stuff that's selling on eBay, what they factor is the books that right now you're getting $50 for, they're going to plummet. The stuff that's like 20, it's all going to plummet. I think temporarily though. I also got to mention Gentle Giant figures, which my office is full of those things. There's also a ton of those in their distribution center. So who knows, all those that are now up to $300, $600, some of the ones I have here, those are going to plummet. So it really is a question of what's in their warehouses.
I don't think they're going to find a lot of valuables in there. Definitely not a lot of really super high collectibles. There might be one or two and a couple of things that slip through or might be regionally more valuable. But for the most part, they've gone through and picked the warehouse pretty clean. And I'm sure there have been retailers or head of retail store chains that have already gone through that warehouse and picked it pretty clean as well.
So gentlemen, we have
surprised if there was big things in there.
We're in a unique position tonight because Jared, while he's a culture and a pop culture aficionado, is not necessarily a comic book guy the way the rest of the panel is. So I'm going to explain to Jared how Diamond worked, and then he's going to try and figure out how it could.
Sorry, I was going to ask. Yeah.
I'm going to describe how Diamond worked, and Jared's going to try and figure out how it could possibly have failed. So Jared, you have a business, and your business is distributing, and you distribute to say 4,000 retail locations. Every month, you send out a catalog, and the retailers order from that catalog, but everything they order, they have to pay for. There's no returns. Okay, so if you ship it to the stores, they have to pay you for it. Okay, now next, you get your product from the publishers and you tell them how many copies the stores ordered. And maybe you order one for your pocket, whatever, but you're not obligated to order anything above and beyond what the stores have ordered from you. And when the stores order from you, they can't return it, right? Next up, the stores have to pay you in 30 days, and then you pay the publishers in 90 days. Okay. So you're always getting cash every month, but you're having to pay the publisher for stuff that they shipped you 3 months ago. Now next, you decide where your warehouses are geographically. Okay. You're using UPS, basically UPS ground to ship your stuff. Okay. Can you conceive of any possible way that you could not make barrels of money?
Going woke.
That was Diamond Comics' distribution model. And somehow, even with the ability to foresee months in advance what their revenue and what their assets and their liabilities would be, and in the ability to not have to refund anything to anybody at any time, they were still ended up with. Randy, do you recall how many tens of millions of dollars in debt they had?
No, but I know he had to take out a personal loan for 41 mil in order to cover the immediate debtors. That doesn't count any of the secondary debtors or the ones that were in the green section. Any of the non-exclusive.
You've got two things at either end. At one end, you've got this exclusive distribution that goes out to comic shops. Don't get me wrong, I love comic shops, but if you take it off the newsstand, it's not in front of kids' noses all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got that one end. This is the long end of the nail that was being banged in over the last 30, 40 years. Okay. And then at this end, you've got a whole bunch of publishers providing the retail end with rubbish, basically. Crap. Awful comics. So it was just like a perfect storm. There was no way that we're ever going to get out of this.
So in Minnesota, I heard from somebody who knew the beer distribution early 2000s was just locked. One company owned it, and it was basically, they paid off the government. All that stuff was part of what, the whispers were. They failed in the early 2000s, and I was focused on it because I was living in Iowa, where you could get all this beer that was craft brew, and this is all stuff that's became very trendy. But as soon as that happened, the whole craft brew thing exploded, and actually woke kind of, and destroying Minneapolis kind of killed it quite a bit. But, but I have to wonder, is this good news for, like earlier you were talking about getting, having trouble getting your stuff on the shelf? Does this have the potential of making it easier for truly creative, truly independent creators getting on those shelves?
Randy, what does your gut tell you?
It all depends on how it shuffles out. We're in such a position of flux right now. We're not sure how it's going to go. Right now, the retailers that I've talked to feel that it's not going to affect them at all, because they're already getting the majority of their stuff from Penguin and Luna. But the little guys are always going to be disrespected until either another distributor or two or three pop up that are and there's a more equal distribution field for everybody to get product out to the stores. Back before Diamond became the big exclusive distributor that they are now, there were a lot of comics, especially the alternative and independent books, were booming. Big time. Right before Image sprung up, there were all sorts of books, and Fantagraphics, for example, was going strong, and the whole black and white movement was going really big. Turtles were raging, and every freaking animal that could grab a weapon had a comic and a saleable book. It's a lot of money to be made during that period. But when the Heroes World debacle went through, that's when Diamond came through and pretty much muscled everybody else into exclusive contracts with them, starting with DC. And as you saw, DC was the first one to pull out from Marvel, because they've probably been watching the situation like a hawk, and they know what's in their contract, and they realized there was a big opening thanks to the contracts they signed with Diamond to get out, and they got out as fast as they could. But that we need to have a return to a more equal footing, where a lot of these publishers get to be seen a lot more visibly in front of the retailers. Plus, the retailers have to change their minds as far as they've gone through 30 years of Pavlovian training by Diamond, that all the lower people are in the green section. You don't want to go to the green section unless you have to. You get everything from our exclusives, because they're the bigger guys that are selling the bigger books. Well, the reason they're all the bigger guys selling the bigger books is because they're in the front, ahead of the green section. It's kind of a bad self-feeding parasite situation that has now come to an end. So it might turn out to be really good for the independents if a few independent distributors pop up there and they're able to get the ear of the retailers. Well, only time will tell.
Craig, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I'd love to say, like, again, Arrow makes so many fantastic products. I'd love to say that we could fill that void in some way and capacity and get our books in the stores. I really do hope the stores do something. Like the stores have sat there as silent victims for like 25 years.
30 years. Yeah.
I think the only comic book shops that survive are the ones that think outside the box, and they get collectibles and the cosplay, and then they go out and they independently do what they got to do to have exciting stuff on their shelves, because I think there's no other way to survive. But,
well, I do not know what is going to happen, but I know what we can do. And what we can do is look at creator-owned books like the ones from our guest here. So let's now pivot to the Fund My Comic campaign. And let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this project. Let's take a look at the books.
Yep. So we have 113 are watching our crazy antics on a Friday night. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us and joining us. And I appreciate your support. Yeah, I gotta get back over. I was reading the comics. Philbo jumped in there and he said, "Heroes World." Yeah, that's going way back.
Yeah.
So here it is again for everybody. Here's the trailer. The link is right at the top of the chat. It's real easy. If you want to back this campaign, you are going to get a stellar book. I've already read both of these books, and by far this is the best book I read in 2024. Best book. For sure I'm going to read one of the best in 2025. Here's the trailer for the Atlantean 2.
In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim its destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull and his right hand rule the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures and sign up now for news with the email list at russroots.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
Do it.
Yes. So before we started the show, we said we had 87 backers. We were hoping to hit that hat trick, which means 90 backers and 3,000, right? I said that's our goal. I really was hoping we'd hit that tonight. Here we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen.
We have.
Look at that. We have. Yes. Thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Very much.
No, thank you. Thank you for creating these amazing books. So, Russ and Randy, it's your show. I'm just the fingers navigating the campaign. Feel free to tell me, hey, stop there, go back there, move there. The floor is yours. And yeah, you want to talk about what inspired you to make this campaign, what your intent is. It's your show. So,
quality and consistency. We'll have 3 books out this year. So there's issues 2, 3, and 4. We're looking at 50 plus pages, black and white, every issue, with a painted cover, and it's only $15 plus the shipping. So we set it low. We want people to read this. That's what we're about. We're about comics. We love comics. We had an interview in Bounding into Comics just the other day. Nice. They're asking what sort of people do you want? You know, what fans do you want? It's like, I want people that love comics because we love comics. We're not on the way through. This isn't a stepping stone. This isn't a way to get a Netflix pitch or a lunchbox. There's nothing wrong with lunchboxes, by the way. But that's what we do. We make comics because we love them, and we do them in the way that, you know, in the format of the comics that we loved when, you know, comics were king. When they back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. So that's what you're getting. You're getting a Savage Sword of Conan style magazine. And you know, there's a lot of love and effort put into it. So that's all I can say about it, really. I think it's a good price. I think $15 plus the postage. It's just such a crime that postage is so expensive. But yeah, I think it's a good price.
I really love the oversized style with the books. Like, I think that is the way to go.
Yeah, that was a creative decision. We were asked about that as well, actually. I would have really liked it to have been a bit squarer. But we work with Critical Blast, and they're on the Ingram Spark system for printing. And they have certain restrictions on the sizes. So we went for A4, which is like a magazine size. I'd have liked it to have been squarer, but yeah, it is what it is. But it's a nice big page, and it's a lovely book. The printing's great. So
every page is a masterpiece.
Thank you.
And it just keeps getting better too.
I've definitely improved this time. Yeah, the work's better than the first one. So it's a sequential, just like the art.
if you like number 1, I promise you will not be disappointed with number 2. So.
Oh, the story's great. I had that wench figured out right away. I knew you ain't going with them willingly. Yeah, something's up.
Jana.
Jana. Yep.
Jana. Yeah. Jana. Yeah.
No way. She just, I'll go with you. No problem. We leave in the morning.
No problem.
I'll show you. Come on. Yeah. She's in number 2, so it'll be good.
She's there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there right now in these.
Yeah.
No, it's great stuff. Yeah.
Things happen in that book, and you get to meet a big bad, and the queen of the serpent. Really, the Shadow Kingdom in general, the queen of the Shadow Kingdom.
Yeah.
She tries to stop Cull and Brule a couple times, and they start comparing notes. Hey, this happened to me. Hey, this happened to me. Holy crap, we've seen this witch before. So it's all it's just a great yarn. We took also everything started for issue 2 from just a small plot that Charles Santino gave me and said, hey, I kind of wrote this up. If you want to use it, go ahead and use it, featuring young Cull. And we ended up tying that into the story, and it's kind of a major point. For me, it was that little piece of the plot puzzle that fell right into place to make this a great story. So we had help from Charles Santino on the script on this as well. And it's just a great yarn for volume 2. Just a fun, pulpy yarn. Really proud of it.
And how long do you think until that one's gonna, like, I know there's always delays and complications and printing stuff, but when do you think this is gonna fulfill for issue 2?
April. So where are we? It's March, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to print in April. It's going to print middle of April.
Okay.
So people will be getting it, if not the end of April, early May. Then it'll go to retail. Issue 2, the Fund My Comic campaign will start in July.
Okay.
And issue 3 will be October. So hopefully, even at retail, people should be able to get it for Christmas. Issue 3. So we'll have 3 issues this year.
Nice.
Oh, it's so exciting. Yeah, it's like I'm a kid. It's like I'm reliving the 80s and 90s in the indie scene. And
that's exactly the idea. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's what needs to happen as well, because
thanks, John.
Can you imagine? Remember how exciting it was back then?
Yes.
That's what needs to occur.
Well, I don't want to get depressed. I don't know how 100 people here and then pull up my fiddle and stuff. But I was a child of divorce, so I had the arcade to hang out with for a bit. But I play those so much. I would hang out at Games Workshop, but they didn't like me because I didn't paint very well. And then I had the music store. I would hang out there, and listen and sample what I could, and then flip through cassettes. And then a comic book shop, they would let me hang out there for 2 or 3 hours, and I would get to read as much as I could, as long as I brought a fistful of books to the counter. And that's just how I just got by, right? To get out of my house and avoid all that.
Yeah.
But all I had was the truck rest stop off the freeway. That's all I had.
But no, it's great times. I mean, can't complain.
Yeah, those great truck stops. You ran into those old chick publications in the bathroom, so you had something to read.
That's what saved my soul, Randy.
Hey, Jason.
Jason,
have you ever met George Michael by chance? No,
George Michael. Oh. No, but I tried that trick where you go to the airport restroom and tap your foot in the stall. It didn't pan out for me. I don't know.
Come on, Jason, you're into
the guy next door doing a full tap dance number. I can't explain it.
Thank you, Vulcan. Thanks for being one of the honorary Friday nights, hanging out and backing so many fantastic creators. Thank you, Vulcan.
So Jason's more into the Taylor Swift stuff at the truck stop right by where
Are these available? So I saw, sorry, I didn't want to jump in. I saw the cover. The original cover sold for $250.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's where we do every issue. I do the pencils and they get painted. I do the inside front cover in black and white. And that original art is available. And somebody picked it up, which is great. So all the pages interior are available as well.
If you're an art collector, all the more reason to get in on this campaign early.
Yes.
All the art from all of these, including the Shadow Kingdom, all the art is traditional art. It's all brush on paper.
Very cool.
Should be brush on board, Bristol board. Yeah,
So
yeah, Bristol board. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 150 people watching live. For those that are kind of just now joining, this is Robert E. Howard characters, and this is issue 2. You're working on issue 3. How many issues do you foresee this is going to run as a series? What should people expect?
Currently, we're ongoing.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I don't see a stopping point at this point. There's so much more to explore. So many other places to go, and I got more characters to introduce too. You're gonna see some more in 3 and some more in 4. It'll be great. So,
we've got some original stuff as well. I'm gonna say all the stories are original. This is what we're walking in Robert E. Howard's shadow. It's quite a lot of pressure for Randy. We're both very respectful of the source material. But it's an original take, as in we're taking what happened in the Shadow Kingdom and going on a road trip with these guys. And it's in England it's called Tits and Dragons, not Sword and Sorcery. So you get to have fun. There's witches, there's dragons, there's warlocks, but there's also an arc for where they're chasing the serpent people, the shape-shifting lizard people that they found out about in the first in the original Shadow Kingdom. So we've got that going on, but each issue can be picked up and read on its own. So it's got a start, middle, and end, and it's got a resolution to that particular adventure. So you can pick those up, or you can have the whole set. And that's what we wanted to do. We just wanted to go on an adventure, and so there's no specific set number of issues that we've got in mind. From my personal perspective, I wanted a body of work. I've done a couple of runs on yearly runs. I've done some stuff for Marvel. I did a Batman run for a year in the UK and Europe, and I did Doctor Who for total of 3 years. So I've done a few of those, but I really wanted something that I could get my teeth into, and that's kind of what we've been talking about over the last few months, and so that's what's ended up as the Atlantean. So we're really proud of what we're doing, and we just want to continue telling stories and entertaining, really.
Selling and telling. Yep.
Selling and telling. Yep.
So
what you just mentioned here, it touches upon what I think is the most exciting thing about the current time that we're in. Where we've got these creators who are doing creator-owned books, but you're doing them at your pace, so that you can pour in the amount of quality and the amount of energy that you think the story's worthy of. You're not trying to hit an arbitrary monthly deadline. You're not working on to work out in advance. You're doing this, and you're pouring what you want to pour into it, and you're not going to publish it until it's right. And I think that's something that that people need to appreciate, because while you may love the comic book form, you may have a good history with comics. Oftentimes you weren't getting people's best work because they had to meet that monthly deadline. And so just looking at what you're showing here on the screen, I can tell that not only are you a wonderful draftsman and a storyteller, and you've got more depth and energy and vitality in black and white than most people can do in color. But I know that you're gonna lavish these pages with love and attention, and people are gonna get their money's worth plus some.
I do hope people feel that way. We've certainly had. Thank you for the kind words, by the way. But we've certainly had a lot of great responses. People really enjoyed the first issue. If they like the first issue, they're going to love the second. The second is just packed so much more with what we wanted to do. And we're so excited to get onto issue 3. I think that's the thing we're finding, is that we're doing what we're doing and we're thinking, wow, what's next? Where are we going next? We do have a kind of a schedule. We want to get 3 out a year. But you're right. It's about how good the book is, and about giving people something they want, rather than just you know, so much of stuff that's pumped out on a monthly basis is just rubbish, to be honest, from the main, you know, from the corporate comics. And there's so much, there's so many talking heads in so much of it. And that's and in a lot of ways, I know they do use a lot of very cheap artists. Okay, I'm just going to talk from the art perspective. They do,
guys,
and it's not their fault, you know. Like they're getting pushed into this. That a lot of these artists are getting pushed into it, and a lot of people are just doing what they have to do to make ends meet. Oh, look at that!
So I love the Herculoids. I picked this up just out of a love of the Herculoids.
Yeah.
Guys, this is painful. This is just.
Is it sad? Oh,
it's sad. It's sad. Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen.
The cover's terrible. Nice.
Yeah.
I said that to Randy a few months when I first saw the previews. I said, Randy, what do you think's going to happen to this?
It's so bad. It's so bad. I wish they would cut me a check. I could do it right. But in the spirit of what we're talking about, Randy, is it kind of akin to the motto that you will sell no wine before it's time?
No, we're on a schedule here. I mean, there's definitely deadlines that we want to meet and get through, but we want to maintain as high a quality on the entertainment as possible. So
yes, you're not going to hack it out.
Russ gives me enough time to dink around and figure out what I'm going to do for a story.
We could have done 4 a year.
Yeah.
If we wanted to like, you know, go at it, we could have done 4 a year. But we decided on 3 because that gives us plenty of time to put exactly what you're talking about, put the love and care and attention into the book that we want to. So
what I'm seeing here on the screen is you're making work that deserves to be on a bookshelf versus read and thrown away. And so
totally the idea. Yeah.
So can I go through the tiers? I've been trying to jump in.
Sure. We've got 120 people watching live. Let's take a look at the tiers.
So, and I appreciate too, like digital has its place. I avoid digital with Soultac just because with me and my backers, I feel that value is theirs when they take physical, they deserve it. They're holding on to a piece of history. If they want to resell it on the secondary market, which I do a lot on eBay, I'll back a lot of creators. I'll get like a couple alternate covers, or I'll just grab 2 copies of the book. I'll wait a little bit and I'll put one of them up on eBay, or I'll put both the covers. And if someone picks one, and when I get down to just one copy, that's my copy, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I get a lot of my money back that way. And I just put it back into backing more creators at the end of the day, right? So I just keep recycling it and keep this going as much as I can. But so you can get just issue 2 here for $15.
Yeah. Including the A4 print. Yeah.
And it comes with the print of the front cover that you can use as a poster.
Yeah.
And then here, if you're doing the catch up with just the Atlantean, you can get issue 1 and 2 for $25. That's a total of how many pages? Like I can't even imagine.
That's 100 pages. Yeah.
100 pages of continuous story for $25. That's insane. Yeah. So those are the 2 big ones, and then obviously there's this is the one I grabbed, as I was saying, because I've already read both of these and I absolutely love them. So I can't wait for this adventure to continue. But as I was just saying, I grabbed this one with the 2 copies of issue 2. Exactly as I said, I've got a backup copy for issue 1 and a backup copy for issue 2. And I'll just hold on to that for a while. Here for $45, you can get the book plus a print. I don't know if you want to talk on this. That's the ink version of the front cover, which is on the inside front cover. So you'll actually get 2. You got that as signed print from me, and you'll also get the front cover print in color, and the book itself for $45. So nice deal for people who definitely want to put their prints up, frame them. And then again, 90 here, you get a bonus sketch. They get an original sketch with the book.
Yeah, it's anything you want. I mean, I'll do a character from the book, but if you want something else, I'll do that. So.
And then here you get original 200. So these pages that I was looking at, every one of these pages is up for grabs for $200.
$200, and that'll include your book and your poster. So
these ones as well are up for $200.
Yeah, they're all there. Yeah.
So K-pop Junkie has joined the chat. K-pop, we've picked up 4 backers on this book. Don't go anywhere. Take a look at this book. See if you're a wonderful woman. See if you could be backer number 5. We're counting on you. Take a look. Don't go anywhere. You could be K-pop junkie. You could be backer number 5 tonight.
Scroll down if you could, Craig.
Yes. So yeah, I kind of got lost a little bit.
Yeah,
little
that inside
there,
yeah, the inside back cover went, and then you for 55 you can plus the postage.
This one here.
Yeah.
For this tier, you get both Atlanteans and you get a hardcover edition of the Shadow Kingdom in color. And I can't recommend that hardcover enough. It is pretty, very pretty book. If I had seen it on a shelf and didn't know who the guys were that were working on it, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. And I don't say that very much about my own work, but it's a very pretty package put together by Critical Blast and Russ, and it's just great. It'll look great on your shelf. Put it that way.
It's a nice book. Yeah,
it's a very nice book.
And I know you can just read the Atlantean, but it is so much better to read the Shadow Kingdom first, because then you get that relationship for why Cull and Brule are on this journey together.
It's really the kickoff. The story itself is so amazing because it's got all of this going on in it, but it's really the foundation that we're working the Atlantean off of.
So it's just really great. Like it starts the journey right from where Cull is.
Yep. And there's elements in Shadow Kingdom that are starting to pay off in 2, and there'll be more in 3. And issue 4, we're going to pick up. I believe we're going to adapt the only other Cull story that's in public domain and incorporate that into the Atlantean timeline and show everybody where that fits in. And there's a lot of stuff coming out of that as well. It'll be fun. So
a bit about Robert E. Howard, because I know you went through all this and what was available in public domain, and like the Shadow Kingdom. A lot of people may not be familiar with that story. As you said, most people are obviously know Conan more.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to talk about a bit about Shadow Kingdom and how you came across it.
Well, with the way the copyright laws are shifting here had shifted here in the States at the point that we were working on Shadow Kingdom, any story that was printed by 1929 or before was considered to be in public domain. And Shadow Kingdom was printed in August, I believe. Yeah, August, Weird Tales, 1929. And it's really the kickoff for the sword and sorcery genre. It's recognized as being the touchstone story that started the entire genre. And with that, it's a story that Howard sat on for months and months and wrote and rewrote, and he literally poured his heart into it. In my opinion, Cull is as close to Howard himself as any of the characters that he ever did, except maybe Steve Corrigan, who was a boxer who had a lot of boxing stories, because Howard was very big into boxing. But Cull is a very introspective barbarian, becomes king of Valusia in Shadow Kingdom, learns his kingdom's being overrun by shape-shifting lizard people. Can't believe it, because he hasn't been exposed to that many mystical things, but gets a quick education from Brule and Kanu, who is Brule's governor, pretty much. He's a governor of one of the surrounding lands that are part of Valusia, and they convince Cull of what's going on. And in the Shadow Kingdom, once he finds out, he wants to eradicate all of them off of the face of the earth. And Brule is volunteering to travel along with him to go and find them and kill them all. So, and the Atlantean are the adventures of his road trip with Brule as they track those serpent creatures down.
How many pages was the original story in Shadow Kingdom as well? I'm just trying to do that.
Shadow Kingdom
69. I think it was 69. Yeah.
So 169 pages for $55 and 3 books. One's a hardcover and 2 are magazine size. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get 2 prints as well, right?
There'll be 1 print with that.
1 print? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, 2 prints is that Spin Doctor song.
Okay. It's amazing. So you want to try one more refresh? Again, thank you so much for your time.
Let's play the trailer. We got 121 people watching. Let's watch the trailer. Give people some time to gel, and then we'll do a refresh. We've got 4 backers now since the show started. Let's see if one of these 122 people can be backer number 5.
All right. Here is the trailer for Atlantean 2.
In the time before Atlantis sank, when the lands of this world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny, seizing his place as a king. After defending his throne and learning the devastating truth of the Serpent Kingdom and its deadly cults, King Kull in his right hand ruled the Spear Slayer, make a solemn vow to hunt down and destroy the hidden empire of these serpent demons. These are the tales of those journeys. This is the Atlantean. Tales inspired by the brilliance of Robert E. Howard, featuring his first barbarian characters as introduced in the pages of his classic tale, The Shadow Kingdom. Each volume contains beautifully painted covers and around 50 pages of original black and white art and story, featuring classic sword and sorcery adventures you don't want to miss. Join us on these epic adventures and sign up now for news with the email list at russnews.com. Bring your axe and prepare for battle.
Woohoo!
All right, we've picked up 4 backers since the show started. We got 121 people watching live. What better way to kick off your weekend? What better way to kick off the end of Pi Day, March 14th, than to back this beautiful project? We've got a few more minutes left here of this live stream. 119 people
91.
watching live.
91. Thank you very much.
So we picked up 4 backers tonight. We typically get over 100 people watching the replay. So if you back the book after watching the replay, ping Russ and Randy, let them know that you saw them on the Friday nights and you backed them. Randy, I think this is your 3rd time on the show. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
So please, you and Russ come back for issue 3. Keep coming back.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we will. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you again, Randy and Russ, so much for joining us for the Friday nights. Thank you, especially Russ. I don't know what time is it there now.
It's now 3:45 in the morning. But I've got brandy. I had a little sleep before I came on. Thank you so much for having us on and showing out our project. So
yes, absolutely.
I'm just glad you keep doing that project, and I'll bring Soul Tack to completion. I'm doing everything I can to get to issue 9. So,
excellent.
We'll see. All right. 118. Thank you for joining us as well, Jared. Thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us on the Friday nights. I hope everyone has a great weekend. As you know, with the show, 90 minutes, 3 topics, and I always put some crazy outro together. I'm hoping this one I got here is funny. You're welcome, Russ, Randy, and Jared, to stay in the back room after we're not live. It's up to you if you want to stick around. But in any case, have a fantastic, awesome weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
My name's Charlie. I have a ketchup phobia, which is why being near these bottles is really not making me feel great and making me feel pretty uncomfortable. When I look at ketchup, I just feel so uncomfortable, so disgusted. I mean, like, I can't. It's quite unusual for me to be near a lot of ketchup bottles. It almost feels like they want to come and eat me and they want to hurt me. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to be near it. I just want it away. It's warm. If these ketchup bottles were open, I would not be in this room. I would be sprinting down that road. The smell is suffocating.
Oh, I can't take this anymore.
What is your problem, Ketchup?
What is my problem? No one knows how to hold me. You know you're supposed to shake me up. Shake me up a little bit before you start to try to squeeze my ketchup goodness out.
Gosh,
What are you looking at?
I'm sorry, I was just kind of lost in your anger and...
Just kind of stuttering. You're in my way.
Sorry, man, I'm sorry.
Don't you realize I have tomato deliciousness inside of me? Does no one understand that?
Gee, Ketchup, you seem irritated.
What do people do with you? Spread you on bread?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so?
People put me on French fries and burgers and other good food. I help make things taste better.
I remember when I was just a bowl of mayonnaise, and they used to put me on... Oh,
You put me to sleep.
you're obviously not interested in my intriguing story.
Ketchup, you're so rude. What's your problem?
Don't make me bust a cap.
Florida woman Shanika Sirdal, 28, was arrested for allegedly slashing a man's face with a Pringles can at a 7-Eleven in Orlando last Thursday. The attack occurred when Sirdal, after calling the victim a bitch, struck him in the face, leaving a significant cut near his eye that authorities said could result in permanent scarring. The assault was reportedly unprovoked, with the victim simply informing the staff about another customer. Sirdal fled the scene but was soon apprehended by deputies and charged with aggravated battery.
Take your ass in the house. Oh, you just getting supplies? Take your ass in the house. Take your ass. You heard him? Get on. Take your ass home in that house. Get your ass in the house. Oh, you got cheeks of steel, huh? Just getting some essentials? Take your ass in the house. Documents. You and those documents need to get on in that house. You quit fumbling with the controls and just take your ass in the house. Hey, fellas, look who's outside. Needed some must-have, guys. You just needed some must-have, man? Take your ass in the house. Talk about some must-have. Hey, man, grab him and hold him. Give him a full portion of the stick. Man, if you don't take your ass in that house, I'm sick of y'all. Y'all out here as a duo, take all four of them cheeks in that house. Y'all think y'all tucked away in these alleys. Take your ass. Let me get off the bike for this. Take your ass in that house. Oh, you think I can't get y'all long range? Take y'all, man.
All my life, grinding all my life, sacrifice, hustle pay the price, want a slice.
Don't you see?